morning. We have all time zones here with us today, and it's great to see new faces and familiar faces. We have fantastic tellers, five tellers today. And our optional theme was love, unlove, but we don't need to stick to that. What I only can say is we usually don't do any intros. We just invite our tellers and they tell a story from their own lives. And we do give our feedback in the chat and clap silently. When the teller is after 8 minutes, like, we usually try to do under 10 minutes. When you go after 8, I will do some interesting movements here like this, which is a sign that you need to wrap up. Okay? That's if everything is okay, then we might start today with our first teller. Rona, are you ready for your story? She wasn't expecting this. Was a surprise for her.
Yeah, only because when you put the list out, my name was last. So, but I don't mind. That's fine. I'll tell you the story now. I'm a bit frazzled, but
I said that the telling order might change, Rona. So it is.
I am.
Yes, here you are. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I was trying to say earlier, I'm minding my daughter's father-in-law who's got dementia, bless him. He's a lovely, lovely man. He's 87, but he has gone completely off his trolley, so it's been quite difficult, to say the least. I've also got my son, Stephen, whom some of you know. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about our day on safari. Not the safari that you might know in Africa. No, this was the safari park in Edinburgh, where I went with my sister and my family of 3. My Stephen, my oldest, who was at that time about 12, Alison, who was 10, and Laura, who was just born in the pram. It was a day to remember for a whole lot of reasons, and I think you'll agree when I've told you why. Safari Park in Edinburgh is fantastic. I mean, it's got everything. There's a monkey island, and in the water they have boats. And my sister is terrified of water. I'm not far behind her on that, I have to say. But she will agree to go on a boat, provided she feels it's quite safe. But these boats were cramming about 20 people, and they were really only built for like 10. So she was a bit nervous about it. But anyway, we waited until that one boat had been and did its bit on the island and then brought these people back from Monkey Island, and we were first in the queue to get on next. So, well, you've spotlighted me, dear God, really. That I didn't need. Thanks, Rachel. Anyway, there's the boat back, and we're first in the queue, and the man very kindly helped me on with Laura's pushchair, and then Alison came next, and then it was Stephen and Helen trying to get on at the same time. And they were kind of, like this. And Helen's shoe caught on the ridge of the little ramp thing, came off and fell into the water. So that was a big hullabaloo, and it was nothing until my son decided he was going to rescue that shoe. And he promptly went into the water right after the shoe. So we have 2 people dripping, trying to drag them back onto this boat. Should we get off now, or should we carry on? Well, we had no choice. We had to carry on to Monkey Island. Stephen was having nothing else. It didn't matter that he was dripping wet. Helen was absolutely mortified because she had on a kind of see-through material skirt, so you could see her knickers now, and she was not happy about that because they were red and they were glaring out and winking at everybody, So she was mortified. I was pretending I didn't know these 2 people. I had pushed the pushchair further in and had Alison by the hand. Anyway, it was a bit of a day. We went to Monkey Island. That was fabulous. When we came back from Monkey Island, it was a beautiful sunny day, and Helen's skirt had kind of almost dried out because it was this very fine material. We're walking along quite happily, and there was a stone. You know how sometimes you're walking on a stony path, but one sticks up quite a bit more than the other? And I caught my foot on it and tripped and fell and held on to the buggy, which gaped. And the baby rolled out, and frantically trying to get up off the ground and recover my daughter and put her back in the buggy. She's got a big smile on her face. She thought it was, it was fun. It was meant to be that way. But then I looked down and the knee was ripped out of my trousers and my knee was bleeding. So I'm fine with that because it wasn't bad. But Stephen gets hysterical if he sees blood. So there's a whole big drama going on, and the park attendant comes over to see if he can help. And the only thing I heard was, yes, it's the same family. I was mortified. I thought, oh no, we're famous already and we've only just bloody got here. So they were very kind and took me to the first aid place to get only because Stephen insisted that I get a plaster. As he calls it, a flaster, F-L-A-S-T-E-R. My mummy needs a flaster, my mummy needs a flaster. So off we go to the first aid and I get my knee cleaned and a flaster put on. And we carry on our journey around safari. It was the most remarkable, I think, one of the most remarkable days of my life. I nearly lost my son twice. Once when he went into the water and disappeared for a few seconds before we got him back out. The next time was when he thought it would be quite a good idea to go and talk to the lions, not just see them, just let's go and talk to the lions. And he can be seen trying to scramble himself over this fence. Helen's got him by the ankles, pulling him back. I thought, oh my God, this day, it can only get better. Please, it can only get better. Well, it did. It got a lot better because they have a beautiful tea room there. And when you go to the tea room, it's all laid out nicely, china cups and saucers and everything you might want at your table. And then you take your plate and you go up and help yourself to the scones and cakes and sandwiches. And it's the one price for all thing, kind of like a eat all kind of buffet, but it's just sandwiches and cakes. So there was the tea plates, the normal size you would have to take these. But Stephen, no, he asked the lady, have you not got a bigger plate? So I said, Stephen, you only need one plate, sweetheart. You're going to have sandwiches and you're going to have cake. You don't need any more than that. But I'll only get 2 sandwiches on that plate. I said, that's all you need. Oh, well, okay. But I really wanted a bigger plate. Stephen, that's the plate. That's the size you've got. That's the size you're keeping. Move on. Everybody else is trying to get served. We get to the end of the line. It had caused that much fuss about this big plate that the woman, bless her soul, she went to get him a big plate. And she came back and gave him the plate. So Stephen goes right back up and joins the queue again and fills up his plate with cakes and sandwiches, which he's already got. And this woman complained, obviously, because the one thing about my darling boy is, although he has this dreadful disability, it's not visible. He looks like any other 10-year-old at that point, and this woman's making a big fuss, quite rightly, because he's come back and filled up his plate with cakes and sandwiches. I'm sitting there mortified. I said, Helen, go and get him. She went, no way, he's your boy. Go and get him yourself. Oh, Helen, please, just this one. She said, that was what you said the last time. Go and get him. He's your boy. Because he started to argue with the women. It's a flea. He said flea. He's got a very slight speech impediment, but it's a flea buffet. He's telling this woman, it's a flea buffet. You can take as much as you like. Please. Anyway, gets him back to the table. I didn't make him put the stuff back, but I made it stay in the middle of the table. I said, Stephen, that has to go back for other people because they'll be hungry and they'll need to be fed. He said, but I'm still hungry. I said, well, we'll go and have some tea later on. Oh, shoot. We'll go and have some tea later on. That's my phone. Oh, help me, God. Right, I think I've switched it off. Sorry about that, folks. So where was it? Yeah, I told him we would get some tea later on. I'm thinking this is it. Nothing else can happen on this journey around safari. I've nearly lost my son twice. I've skint the knee out of my new trousers. My sister, I forgot to tell you, my sister never got her shoe back. She's hobbling about this whole time with one shoe on and one shoe off. So even in the tea room, people are looking, and she's saying, I dropped my shoe in the water. She felt she had to say something. I said, just keep quiet. It's nobody's business whether you've got your shoe on or not. So after we'd been for this afternoon tea, I can't remember what's next, but there was 2 or 3 other things. And then there was, of course, the situation with the lion. But when we got to the park where you can go on different rides and things, and there's chutes and all these kind of things that the kids enjoy, and there was a climbing frame. And Stephen's climbing up this climbing frame. And he's very agile. I don't ever have to worry him about anything like that because he's pretty sound. He's able to do these things. But on the top, there's like ladders you can go across like this and swing from one to the other. Yeah. He tried walking across it and he lost his footing and he fell down between 2 of them. And he was kind of lodged. So he was just a little bit too big to fit in the space between these 2 bars. So my sister shouted over one of the attendants there everywhere, bless them. And he comes over right away and he asks for support because they're quite high. These things are probably about 8 or 10 feet high off the ground. So neither Helen nor I were any use to help this guy. He was about 6 foot, so he had no problem. But he called for assistance anyway. Apparently they've got to do that in case anything happens, that there's another person there or a witness or whatever. So he comes along and I heard him, I heard the man saying, is that the family where the woman lost her shoe in the water? Is that the family with the boy trying to climb in the lion pen? Is that the family? And I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to get out of here. It was a wonderful day, with the exception of those few minor details. That was our day out at the safari. So I hope you've all had a wee laugh about that. Wasn't quite ready to tell, but never mind. I think it's made you smile, if nothing else.
Thank you, Rona. Thank you so much. You just timed it really well. I was like, oh, it's going more, but I wasn't expecting that the story will end there. But it was such an entertaining day you brought us. Thank you.
And I'm so sorry about spotlighting you halfway through. This is my first time doing this job and I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't have to worry, because at least people will now be convinced that I really am frazzled out of my skin because I look it.
No, I mean you look great, and
you know what? It's so frustrating. Things going on at the moment. It's everything really. Well, I won't even tell you the other thing. It's too depressing. But anyway, I've been trying to get to Marrakesh since November last year, and just one thing after another has been happening. But with any luck, I'm going to get there sometime during the next month. I've got my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for you. I will be also in Marrakesh next month. Maybe we meet. Like, fingers crossed.
I think that's a great idea.
I
Thank
agree.
you, folks.
Thank you so much, Rona. I'm still in awe about your son, and I really would like to hear more how he communicated with the lions. I mean, maybe in another time we will.
The other one
can
involved
chat
the other thing that I didn't tell you, which I'll save for another time, involved the spiders. You know, when you go into the insects thing where they're all behind the glass. Yeah, there was another minor incident in there. That was just an incident everywhere we went. Something else happened, but I could only tell you so much.
But you made it at the end.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. A round of applause for Rona, please.
Thank you.
And now, if you are ready, Esvaran, we will move to you. Esvaran, now we lost him. Maybe the connection, Rachel, I can't hear you. Maybe the connection was
Yeah, just as he needed to come in, he's dropping out. Do you want to switch Mike and Eshwin?
Yes, let's do that.
And I'll see what I can do to get him back.
Yeah.
Is it me now, is it?
Yeah, if you are ready,
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
Yeah, I can go. That's okay. That's all right. So, well, here it is 10 to 1 at midday. And for once, it's not raining. It's rained here, and it's rained, and it's rained, and it's rained. But we're hearing today also that the north of France has been hit very badly. Now, my story today is the one that I've been thinking about telling for a while, and I have got permission from my wife to tell it. And I too, I think if I can work it right, I can get Lucy in the story as well. If that's the competition today to get Lucy in the story, I'm sure we can manage to do that. Because this is the story of why I didn't get to Marrakesh for the first couple of festivals. So when the COVID hit, and I didn't think for a moment before COVID that I would be sitting here telling stories on a Zoom meeting. I didn't think it was possible to do, and that's what I would have said. But when the Zoom came and the COVID years came, the lockdowns and all the rest of it, we had to find a way to do it. And finding a way to do it meant that I could sit in what I call Anna's old room, which is where I'm sat now, when we did the story round. When it came to the first festival, I was kindly invited, but I couldn't make it because my wife had been ill. Now, what my father and my grandfather would have said is that Lynn, she had a dicky ticker. She had all sorts of problems with her heart, as aberrations and things. And finally, John, he phoned me 3 or 4 times. He said, "You've got to come, Mike." I said, "No, I can't leave Lynn here by herself." So I didn't go. And I didn't go to the second one. But I did manage to pop over because I'd been doing the story round and I wanted to thank Waleed. And so I managed to go over when nobody else was there at all. I was just there by myself. It was just John Rowe and me, and that's all it was. So finally, the doctors got together and they sat down and they said that Lynn, the answer to Lynn's problems would be a pacemaker. So she went to the big hospital that we have here in the West Midlands. It's called New Halls, and where there's some of the finest doctors in the whole of the kingdom. But they say that to every hospital has the finest doctors anywhere in the world when you're there. And they put Lynn on the pacemaker ward, and up came a new pacemaker. Well, in those days, I was sat here. Now, I'm very well house trained to me. I had a message from Chrissy Thomas, Taffy Thomas's wife, that I had to iron the carpet and vacuum the bath. I'm sure she said that because I used to do that every day. And once I'd fed everything that needed feeding around here, I did remind myself I needed to feed myself. But I went, and Taffy, when he phoned me up to see that I was there, okay, and he said, "I'll write to Lynn and tell her about my pacemaker." Because you all know Taffy Thomas, as I'm talking about, my old friend, the storyteller from Cumbria, who I've known since the early 80s, probably before then if we thought about it. He had a heart attack in 1983. And when you have a heart attack and you have a pacemaker, you have the pacemaker that goes with the technology of that era. Now, back in 1983, the era of pacemakers was clockwork. And they had to put a clockwork pacemaker in with a little battery, and the pacemaker goes tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and they can adjust it with a screwdriver. That's how they used to do it. And they've taken the battery out and put a new battery in, I know of 7 times since those years. And when Taffy has to go into hospital for a week, and it's quite a major operation, it's, you know, they have to cut into him and all the other bits and pieces. They put a new battery in and they check it's all working. They haven't had to put a new one in all these years. They give it a bit of an MOT and that. But the first time he'd had his pacemaker put in, he comes home and Chrissy and Taffy are going to bed. As they get into bed, they're trying to go to sleep, and Chrissy turns around to Taffy and says, "I don't think I can go to sleep because all I can hear is the pacemaker going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock." So Taffy, bless him, says this, "Well, if it stops, you'll be the second one to know." Right? And so Taffy writes this in a letter on a card and sends it to the ward that Lynn's in. And Lynn sat there, and there's this really nice card and a letter, and I know what's in the letter. So I come bowling in my normal quiet self. You know what I'm like. I mean, you can hear me from the other side of the weekend, let alone where Baba C is most days. I walk in and I sit down. I get, is that the letter from Tappy? And in the bed next door, there's a little girl. She's 14 years old, with the most worried looking mother you've ever seen in your life, who just hasn't moved anywhere for a couple of days because the little girl, she'd 14, she'd gone to play hockey and she'd had a heart attack on the hockey pitch, and they brought her in and she had a pacemaker as well. And everybody, and there was a couple of others because it was the pacemaker ward. So if Lynn wasn't there, they could all talk about modern pacemakers and old pacemakers and all sorts of things. There were 6 of them in this ward. So I said, have you told everybody else about what Tappy said? And they went, no. So I stood there. So I didn't have to read the letter. I knew what it said. So I told the story just about how I've told it to you a few moments ago. And everybody starts laughing. Even the mother of the 14-year-old girl smiled for once. And I turned to her and I said, that was in 1983. It's now 2024. And Taffy is just still a pain in the ass, but I love him to bits. And he's 74. And she went, really? And I went, yes, 74. There's a future after what's happened here. Don't worry about it. Now, I've been told off by many people. I can be told off by all sorts of people, but I can be told off by Rona's told me off. I can see her pointing already. I haven't upset Senim yet, but I'm pretty certain Lucy would tell me off at some point. See, I could get Lucy in the story, Rachel, as well as you can. And we've had long conversations. Anyway, so the nurse came in, but she wasn't a nurse. She was, in the old days, they had sisters and matrons, but I'm not sure. I think she was the ward manager. Anyway, in this country, the nurses, they're color coded, and the dark royal blue uniforms that they wear, they're the most senior nurses, and she was wearing one of those, and she's looking round and she's going, what's going on in this ward, and who the hell are you, right? So I tell her the same stories I've told it to you, and she goes, storytellers, who the hell are they? So I have to sit down and explain to her about Tappy Thomas. And now Tappy Thomas has got an MBE that you had to go, and it's the Queen who gave him his, so we had to explain all that and everything else. And everybody in the ward's listening, and everybody else. Then the doctor comes in and finds out what's going on, because all he can hear is somebody laughing and a big loud voice. And he reads it and says, I want to borrow this. And he goes to the photocopy and comes back and photocopies Tappy's letter. And I goes, I can see you, Senem, just get to the end. And he goes, I'm going to take this and I'm going to hand it round to every nurse's station, and I'm going to get the senior nurses to read it to all the nurses. And I went, well, I'm sure Taffy would be delighted. Is there a reason? And he said, yes, there is, Mike. We've just got through COVID. It's the first time I've heard laughter in my hospital.
Oh, thank you, Mike, for this heartwarming story. Oh, the love is in the air, I tell you.
Well, it's personal stories. And like I said, I have got permission from Lynn to tell it. So she doesn't mind people knowing that she's got a pacemaker nowadays. And I'm sure that if we can ever persuade her to sit on an aeroplane, that we'll get her to Marrakesh. Or everybody I'm looking at, I would be delighted if you all turn up at Much Wenlock at the festival. So there you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And a round of applause for Mike.
Can you put it on the gallery for me, Rachel? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Here.
I'm not fast, but I'm slow.
You are doing great, Rachel. You are doing great.
Excellent
And
job.
thank you so much for doing this. You know, it's always like it's fantastic to have someone just caring for the technicalities, and I can only focus on hosting.
Mildly panicking.
Thank you, Rachel. And you are one of the tellers too. Like, you know, you have 2 hats today. Yeah, great. And now, Esveran, you are back with us. And
I
are you
had a
ready?
temporary outage here. It is corrected.
Okay. Welcome back. And if you are ready, the
I'm ready. Yeah.
floor is yours for your story.
Okay. So I will tell about the particular person and my relationship a bit towards the end, but let me get on with the story. So there was this lady called Sri Lakshmi, which is a South Indian name, Sri Lakshmi, and Gopi Kannan. This is two people who married, and they were very God-fearing people, and they tried to settle in their lives. And then it happened in Hyderabad, and then they had as everyone expected, a child very soon, and it was a girl child. And obviously, since her name was Sri Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth was already in the house, so they decided to call the girl Saraswati, who was the goddess of learning. So money and learning was there in the house, and that is how they named. And after a while, about 3 years later, they had another daughter, and they called her Gayatri. But after 3 more years, they felt very difficult because, as any South Indian family, and most of them look forward to, is to have a boy child. After all, lineage becomes very important in the culturally speaking. And then they were anticipating that they should get a boy child. But it's not easy to have a child as and when you wish for some people. So they decided to go on a pilgrimage. So Sri Lakshmi and Gopi Kannan went all over the place. They went to popular pilgrimage places, and then they came back. And then, as it to have it, they had a child, and it turned out to be a boy. And they were very, very God fearing, I said, and therefore they decided to call the boy Venkata. Why they called him Venkata? Because one of the popular places to go is Tirupati here, if some of you may be aware, and it's a Lord Venkateshwara there, and therefore he was called Venkata. But in most South Indian communities, they end up having nicknames. So he was called Vengutu. So Vengutu was the name, and Vengutu was a very naughty child. And but his two sisters, elder sisters, were already school going, and he was yet to go to school. So one of these days, what happened? Gopi Kannan, the eternal person who worked in the government office, was busy doing his work, and his mother decided that Vengutu's birthday was coming, and therefore she said, "I will stitch him a shirt." And she said, "Okay." And she called Vengutu and said, "Hold that cloth a bit, and I want to cut with the scissors." And she told him, "Be careful, keep it down so that I can cut it, and keep it stiff." But Vengutu was a mischievous child. He held it towards his eye and said, "Okay, let me see the scissor come in." Unfortunately, Sri Lakshmi didn't see it, and she drove the scissor into his eyes. To cut a long story short, at least the misery of that, Vengutu became blind in one eye. And things happened, many, many years passed. The mother could never bear the trauma of hurting her son. And the son was trained and brought up in a way where he believed that if someone made a mistake, they should apologize. But the mother never apologized simply because she said, "I had told him to keep it properly." So the adult in her didn't allow her to apologize, and the child in Vengutu didn't forgive mother. All fine. Vengutu was a good son. And Vengutu got married. He himself had a baby boy. But he had already ensured that he doesn't talk to his mother other than bare necessities. So he gave her food, he gave her comfort, he gave her place to stay, took care of everything for the mother, medically and otherwise. He made sure, like the Sleeping Beauty story, he removed all the scissors from the house and kept whatever little were there in her lock and key, so that this sort of incident should not happen again. But then the relationship was purely not mother and child, it was purely platonic. And then Vengutu's son was born. And Vengutu was still simmering with anger in his mind. He refused to show his mother the grandchild. And he kept the grandchild away from the mother. But then the mother was very, very quickly deteriorating. She was aged. And at the few days before she passed away, she called Vengutu and said, I am sorry for what I've done. And Vengutu broke down. He immediately got his wife to get the child and showed to him, to her grandmother, and said, there you are. So the adult became the child at the last moment, and the child became the adult in the last moment, and the adult and child reversed their roles. Vengutu was my elder cousin, and this is what happened in his life. So that was the story I've got. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Esveran. Like this was a really moving story. Yeah, I mean, when you told that moment, mean, it took me a while to come back to myself. I was like, what? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's a bit difficult story, but that's the way it happened. So
yes, yes. And it's part of life. Like,
yes.
yes, like, in life, yeah, we don't only have entertaining stories, like, we also have this kind of stories, and yeah, that's part of the diversity of life experiences. But I am glad that it kind of ended at the end with forgiveness, and yeah, that she
Yeah,
also
there is no
was
point
able to
carrying
see the
angst.
child,
Yeah.
the
So
grandchild. Yeah. Um, you are still in contact with them?
oh, I think he's passed away. This is quite an old story in the sense.
Okay.
So he was much elder to me, so he's no more. So
Okay. Okay. May he rest in peace, and the mother also. Mm. Thank you as well for sharing this. Yeah, love, unlove. It really suits our team, isn't it? That, like, both are in the story, I believe, very strongly.
yes,
Very, very, very strongly. Like, Rachel came up with this topic the last time, and I mean, I thought that's fantastic for February, and here we are,
yes,
powerful
February theme
stories.
is.
Yeah. And all of the stories up to now were kind of related with families. And
Yes.
let's see what will come next.
Mm.
Give a round of applause to Esmeran for this beautiful, heartwarming, and also heart-aching story. And now let's move to Santosh. Yeah, from India to Japan now. Hello, Santosh. Are you ready for your story? You mute yourself, please, first.
Yes. Oh,
Great. Floor is yours. Still unmuted. Sorry, still muted.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Now yes. Okay. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day, everyone. I'm from Japan here. So I've lived here for quite a while now, and Japan is famous for earthquakes, right? Earthquakes are pretty common here. So I'll probably tell a story about earthquake today. So my first experience of an earthquake here was kind of funny. When I was at office, that was my first trip to Japan. I was in a meeting room with another person. We were in a meeting, and there was a huge shake suddenly. And the other person was also a foreigner from Philippines. I don't know what to do. We both didn't know what to do. We just ran out of the meeting room. We just ran out, and we saw all our Japanese coworkers sitting and doing their work calmly. And they looked at us and like, what? I'm like, oh, what should I do? And they said, go continue the meeting. So we went and continued our meeting. So that's the prologue. And we get into the main story now. It was March 11th, 2011. It was a Friday, and it was a day which I was looking forward to, because on that day there was a company party and I was being awarded the Employee of the Year that evening. So it was a huge party. I was looking forward for it. 7 o'clock in the evening, the party starts. So it's an official party, so you have to be suited up. You have to be presentable in the party. So I wore my suit. I was ready at 7 a.m. in the morning for the party, which is going to happen in the evening. So I was so excited. I went to office on that day. Our office was a small little like 6-story building, a Victorian style old building, beautiful. I entered, my office looked more beautiful than usual on that day. I entered, I saw the reception. The reception had this huge chandelier. That looks so beautiful. And I went to the lift, and every floor, between the lift, there's a traditional painting that hangs. So those paintings looked more beautiful today. I was so happy. And every meeting on that day, I was smiling. I was smiling. And my coworkers were telling me, "You are freaking us out. Please don't smile so much." At 2 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon, we had a meeting where I'm teaching someone new about our systems here. He was also from India. So I booked the most favorite meeting room of mine. I chose the 4th floor. There's this glass meeting room, a twin meeting room next to each other. And I really love the view from there. So I booked that meeting room. And at 2 o'clock, we were at the meeting. He was sitting next to me. I was explaining these Japanese systems in Tamil, my language. He was also from India who speaks Tamil. So I was writing down the details on the board, and I was looking at him, and he had a weird look in his face. I was like, okay, so did you not understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling in Tamil, for God's sake. Did you not understand? Then he said, no, earthquake. Well, when you're standing up, actually, it's difficult to feel the initial quake. And he was sitting down, so he probably felt it first. And I'm like, oh, earthquake? I didn't feel it. And just to confirm, I peeped over to the next meeting room through the glass door. And there were a lot of Japanese sitting there. And they had the same expression as my friend here. And when Japanese have that expression, okay, this is serious. We don't know what to do. I'm running out of the meeting room. I'm in front of the lift right now. I'm looking at that beautiful painting, and the painting is going that, and a full 360 degree. The shake was that huge. And then I realized, okay, we can't use the lift when it's shaking heavily like this. So we have to take the stairs. I'm turning this way. There's the stairs. We have to run. We have to climb down 4 floors. Luckily, it's not a huge building. So I ran towards the floors. But the door has come out from the lock, and it was closing. If the door closes, we are stuck in the floor and we cannot get out. So I saw that and went running and held the door. And someone opened it, and I was holding it from my back like this and letting people go. So I'm here holding the door, and I'm seeing the stairs here, and the stairs are going like this. And without a drop of beer, I feel drunk there. and allowing people to go. And I'm seeing people from 5th floor, 6th floor are climbing down. They're going. I'm holding this door. What should I do now? Should I be a hero? Should I hold the door, let others go, or just save my life and just go down? Somebody else will catch the door. I don't know what to do. I'm in confusion. I'm holding the door. I'm looking up. I could see people from 6th floor are climbing down. And there I could see Miss Keiko. She is this beautiful lady who sits in 6th floor. I always wanted to talk to her, at least say a hi. She was so beautiful. And I'm seeing she is climbing down, and she's directly looking at me. So I can't leave the door now, right? So I'm holding the door. Keiko is looking at me, climbing down slowly. And she came near me, went past, and she's going down. And while going down, she was turning and looking at me. Full eye contact. Now I can't leave the door. And then I waited for everyone to get down, and then I went down. And I was at the 1st floor, ground floor, to go out of the building, and I'm seeing the chandelier. And it was shaking like this. And that's one of the scariest sound I've heard. The glasses going in this. And everybody was like holding their heads and going out like this. And we were there out in the open. We were on road. The shake was so heavy. We are not inside a building. We are outdoors. We are still falling down. I fell down. I'm looking the lamppost going like this. That was really scary. And I don't know what to do. I again get up. I'm looking around to see familiar faces, to see if people are okay. And at that time, Keiko saw me and she was walking towards me. I'm like, wow. She came to near me and she told hi. And I told hi. And she asked me, coffee? I'm like, coffee? Yes. Yes. I'm thinking, oh, where is the nearest Starbucks? Where can we go? We can go for a coffee. Yes, yes. Then she told, no. Coffee? And she pointed at something. And then I realized I was actually holding my coffee cup in my right hand all this while falling down, while holding the doors, every time. And that's when I knew coffee is love of my life. That's all. Thank you.
Oh, a round of applause for Santosh. Santosh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh, for this really entertaining story. I mean, it's a scary one, but I knew this because we worked in the workshop. So, I knew what was coming, but still, it was so enjoyable, to listen you how you will bring it to the end. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Your feedbacks were really helpful.
Oh, thank you. I mean,
And-
this version is really, really, precise and powerful. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for
From 16, I brought it to 10. So
yes,
That was
very,
great,
very
yes.
good. You did a great job. You did a great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, another dimension to our love, coffee became this time the love of Santosh's life. Oh, thank you. Now, let's move, not last but least, to our beautiful Rachel. to our teller and also the one who is at the background sorting all these technicalities.
Wait, I have to spotlight.
I can also spotlight you if you like. You want?
Spotlight. Do you like me doing this, right? With my bifocals? Yeah. Super sexy online. That's me. Okay. So I'm a storyteller, but I don't do fiction and fairy tales. Not for me is the Three Pigs or the Talking Animals or anything like that. I don't believe that anyone is going to save you. It's not like somebody just comes out of the woodwork and then you live happily ever after. That's not how things work. Real life situations, real happily ever afters are achieved through hard work and compromise, not through magical fairies. And so I choose realism over romance every time. And I also am quite a competent traveler. I'm somebody who has traveled around the world and who is very comfortable traveling by myself. I always have a plan. I always think nobody's going to save me, so I've got to get myself out of this. So I'm feeling, pretty good last year in January 2025 when I'm in Marrakesh, Morocco. And I'm here, as some of you already know, for the World Storytelling Cafe Storytelling Festival. And I'm here with all of these amazing storytellers from around the world. And I'm feeling a bit out of place. I'm feeling a bit like maybe I don't really belong. Maybe I shouldn't really be here with all these people and their expressive gestures and their vast knowledge of storytelling. But I'm here and I'm going to make the most of it. Now, I'm staying in an apartment that's 30 minutes away from the venue. So that means that I have to walk for about 15 minutes through regular city before I get to the Medina. And the Medina, as again, some of you know here, but some of you don't, the Medina is the marketplace, the ancient marketplace. And it is a maze of alleyways and just it's a really interesting place, but it's not a place that you can get a taxi into. So from the place that I'm staying, I can get a taxi to the edge of the Medina, but then there's another 15-minute walk to get to the cafe. So it's daytime, it's sunny, it's beautiful, and Marrakesh is magical. It is absolutely beautiful. And I walk through these narrow little streets when I get here. The walls are really high and they're kind of like a pinkish color. And the sunshine is bouncing off of them, kind of leaving you warm but not too warm. And there is color and people everywhere. And everybody's so friendly and so nice. People smile at you and wave as you walk past. And there is so much to look at. You're walking down in this maze and you're leaving like a little breadcrumb trail of your own ideas of what it is that you like. So I turn left at the pottery and then right at the traditional sweets and then left again at the rug cellar. And the rug cellar has a cat who sits on a stool all day in the sunshine and just looks like a little emperor. And this is how I find my way around. This is my breadcrumb trail. And I'm feeling pretty comfortable about this, right? My breadcrumb trail to get to the actual venue. Feeling pretty comfortable about this. The afternoon of one of the first days that I'm there, I walk down, I walk through Medina, I get my trail, I'm looking at everything, I'm distracted by all the sights. I go to the cafe, I listen to some stories. I go and have dinner on a rooftop and watch the sun go down over top of these beautiful buildings. And then I'm really lucky because I'm invited to this meditation session on the top of this absolutely stunning riad. And I go to it, grateful of all these things that are happening and feeling quite a lot more welcome and like there is a place for me after all. And then the session ends and we say goodnight. And I step out of the riad and the darkness is heavy, and it's silent, and it's cold. I'm not really sure what to think about this. The smiling faces that were everywhere during the day are now no longer there. There's just people dressed in dark robes, flitting from place to place. And I'm not sure how to find my way out because I look at my phone and it's got 6% battery on it. And I start walking in these alleyways. And just as I start leaving, I get this text message from my roommate, Dee. Ping. Hey, I'm getting a taxi back to the apartment. Do you want to join me? And I'm thinking, yeah, I really want to join you because this isn't feeling as comfortable as it did before. And she says, I'm in the square, Gemma Elfna. Come and join me. 5 minutes. And I text back 10 minutes. And she says, there's a lot of men around and it's dark and I'm not comfortable. Hurry. And so I take off at a run down these alleyways and I'm running and I'm trying to find the markers that I've thought of before. And when I'm walking and I turn to go into the alley where the guy with the green pottery is, but of course, he's not there. Everything is closed. All these beautiful places that I remember, the way that I remember my route, everything is closed. And those lovely pink warm walls, well, they're cooling off in the desert night and they're dark, really dark. There's just a slice of moon that comes through every once in a while. But I don't care. I'm running. I'm running down one alleyway and then another alleyway, and I'm getting myself into a proper state. I am panicking. I can feel my heart racing, and I'm looking around for somebody to ask directions to the square. But I want to ask a single person because a woman traveler knows it's safer to ask a single person than it is to ask a group of people. But all I see is these groups of people. These friendly people seem so menacing at nighttime. And there's just these groups of people. There's one group of 3 men over here, and they're talking in really loud voices, and they sound like they might be angry. And there's another group over there, but there's 5 of them, and they're whispering, and they're all wearing their cloaks with the hoods. And then over there, there's 2 women holding a kitten and crying. I don't really want to get involved in that either, but I'm running and running, and I'm panicking, and I'm telling myself, just take a deep breath. Calm down. My phone pings one more time. Hurry is all it says, and then it dies. So I keep running, and I keep flapping and worrying, and I'm looking, and I turn the last corner, and there's a man standing there in his cloak and his hood with a donkey and a little cart behind it. And I think, okay, this is the only single guy I've seen. This is the one I need to ask. And so my heart pounding, I approach him and I say, Sir, Gemma Alfna. And I just look confused. And he turns towards me and I kind of flinch away as though I'm expecting maybe a blow or a curse. And I can't see his face because it's hidden inside of his hood. And a bony finger reaches out and points. And it says, Gemma Alfna, go straight. And when you see a door, open it. And just like that, it was like an epiphany. Like angels started singing. The doors that I was afraid to open earlier are now just small barriers that I can overcome. And I do. I follow where his pointing finger is, and I come to the door, and I grab the big knocker that I was afraid to grab before, the big handle, and I open it up, and it creaks ominously, but I don't care because I know this is the path that I'm supposed to be on. I know this is my way because I was given a sign. I go through. I go straight. And soon the chaos and noise and color of the square are all around me. And there's Dee waiting for me with a taxi ready to go. And we jump into the taxi and we get to the apartment moments later. And I'm there. We say goodnight. I'm there in my bed and I'm thinking, maybe there is somebody sometimes who comes and saves you. Maybe all you have to do is ask. Maybe this is my happily ever after.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Give a round of applause to Rachel for happily ever after. Although she didn't believe in these, but Marrakesh has changed her truly. And that is thanks to this community and to the festival and to World Storytelling Cafe. Yes, thank you, Rachel.
And it was Lucy's meditation session that I was in.
Yeah.
Rachel, you're not the only one who got lost in those pathways. I was there a
Seriously.
couple of weeks ago and I got lost again. It is very easy to get lost in those pathways.
Oh,
I got lost every time I went out.
Yeah.
yeah, I was lost each day. So, but I love that Bonnie figure that, pointing out and
Yeah.
just open the door.
When
never
you go
got lost
straight,
in
and when you
Marrakesh.
see a door, open it. That's now my philosophy for life.
That's
Yeah,
good.
no, that's
Dispense
not,
with knocking it, I suppose.
yeah.
Don't knock, you just open.
And when a door closes, open it back up. That's how doors work.
Right.
I
And-
never got
Well-
lost in Marrakesh, but often I didn't know where I was.
I got
Oh,
lost a lot.
Yeah, I got lost a lot and I didn't know where I was.
I
Yeah.
got found a lot. I
For the
got
one
found
who
a lot by other people that were lost.
You're supposed to get lost in Marrakesh. That's part
Yeah.
of the experience.
Of course. Yeah.
For the ones who haven't been in Marrakesh, hopefully will also come and get lost, because as Lucy said, that's part of the experience. It is,
Yeah.
you never find your
Yeah.
way without getting lost in life. Marrakesh.
I
And the
have to
great-
admit,
the
I
other
was
thing-
so excited.
Yeah, the other thing about Marrakesh is when if you get lost and you've had a couple of beers, you just don't mind so much.
I'll take your word for that.
I know now we came to the hour, but I promised Baba C for a short story, which is in between 5 and 6 minutes. I am being
So I'm going to squeeze 2 short stories in that 5 to 6 minutes, because I'm not going to tell you about the first time I was in an earthquake in Washington D.C. We don't get earthquakes, but we did. But I got to say something. Rona mentioned insects, and real quick, I used to do a summer program, and we took the kids to the Smithsonian Institute to their insect farm or thingy, and we were checking out the insects, and they wanted us to go over to the hissing cockroaches. I am phobic when it comes to cockroaches. And so the guy said, oh yes, these cockroaches, they just sit on your hand, and if you listen very closely, they'll hum. And he said, and watch, and he put it on my hand. And you'll have to find out the rest of that story another time. Here's my story I want to tell. So a long time ago, when my beard was black and I had hair under this kufi, I was a residential camper at a summer camp, which meant I lived at the camp for about a fortnight, and then we would take the kids back, city kids back, and pick on a Saturday, and then pick up our new group on a Monday. All right. So my campers and I developed a very familiar, a very, very family-like relationship. And I was in many ways, if not their father, I was too young to be their father, but I was big brother or uncle. And these are all city kids, and I don't know why or how it came about, but we got up early one morning to go on a walkabout, and we discovered a patch of blackberries. And the kids had never had fresh blackberries. And we're eating these blackberries. In the back of my head, I'm going, well, we're in the country. They probably didn't use any pesticides, so it must be okay. So we're eating these blackberries, and they loved it. So we get back to camp, and the kids say, can we go pick blackberries again and maybe ask Cook for a blackberry pie? I said, okay. So I go up to Cook, and Cook kind of had a shining toward me because I watched out for her son or her nephew. But anyhow, I said, Cook, my guys want to get up early tomorrow morning and go pick blackberries, and they want to know if they can come in and make a blackberry pie. Cook very seldom shared her kitchen. She said, two can come in. I'm glad to hear that. I'm going into town to get supplies. I'll get the extra stuff to make blackberry pies. Okay, fine. So I invite the other cabins to get up early in the morning, go pick blackberries, because we got to pick the blackberries, come back, shower, and then go up for the morning meal. Okay, so the guys actually get up extra early. Nobody else wants to come and pick blackberries with us. So we go out and we pick the blackberries, and we get buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets, because you know by the time you wash through and pick out all the bad ones, you just have enough for a pie. Well, we had all these blackberries. We took it to Cook. And Cook knew that the other cabins refused to go blackberry hunting with us. So she let my two guys come in. They're making the pies. And that evening at dinner, she says there's a special dessert for Mr. C's cabin, blackberry pies. But it's only for Mr. C's cabin because nobody else wanted to get up and go collect blackberries. Well, I asked us, but I said, okay, but the director of the camp and a couple other folk, so they got a blackberry pie to share. And there was one other counselor who was very, very tight, so we sneaked him a little bit of blackberry pie. But she said, nobody else will have blackberry pie. If I see anybody getting that blackberry pie, I will collect them all, and there'll be no dessert for anybody. And when Cook spoke, you don't want to take off Cook, because Cook cooked. So anyhow, so the blackberry pie comes out at my table. The other guys are protesting. She says, excuse me, did you get up and go pick any blackberries? They hadn't. So she takes blackberry pie to the administrative table. My guys are having blackberry pie. And then she brings out les pièces de résistance. She brings out and puts scoops of ice cream on top of every blackberry pie at my table. And I tell this because it was a love between the summer campers and myself and their desire for blackberry pie. And blackberry pie happens to be my favorite pie in the whole wide world. And I just gave you the pie and the scoop. Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, thank you, Baba C. Like, I love blackberry pie, and with a scoop, that would be lovely.
Big fan, big fan. I also forgot to spotlight you, and I apologize for that.
It is. No
That's
worries. Rona asked for telling the funniest line of her story. Rona, are you with us? Would you unmute yourself, please?
Oh, thank you. I would really like to tell you the final line of this story because it's really what it was all about. As we were leaving the camp, the safari, that day, one of the attendants was coming towards us, and I thought, oh no. So I started going faster and faster till we were actually running. I thought, I've got to get out of this camp. I don't know what he wants us for, but it's not good. But he came tearing after us, and he caught up with us, obviously a young fit man, and he stood in front of me, and he had tickets in his hand. He says, we want to give you these tickets. He says, we've never had such a laugh ever, right? And there was 4 tickets. Stephen, who had just been learning to count, said, there's 5 of us. Including the baby who wouldn't have to pay anyway. And the guy just looked at me. I went, it's okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. That's so kind. But he went and took his pen and put a cross on it, like ×2 on one of the tickets. So, but that's how bad it was. They were actually giving us tickets because we had made their day with all these bloody disasters, one after the other. Thanks for that.
Oh dear.
I just wanted to tell you that.
Thank you, Rona.
Christine.
Yeah.
Rosen's just arrived, but we're just about to finish up.
Right. Can I just introduce you to Lynn? Lynn's just popped in.
Yes, please.
Oh, hi, Len.
Hey, Lynn.
Thank you so much the story, Lynn. Thank
Good.
you.
So you're the one who has to put up the mic all the time. Well done, you.
Yes.
Well,
I'm going to
Me
turn
and
the
I think she's
recording.
lucky. I think she's lucky I married her. Now you be quiet, Rachel.
Now it's the other way around. It's the
I'm
other
going
way
to pause the
around.
recording.
Oh, I wanted
Lynn,
to
Lynn,
just,
you and I know that that's not true. It's the other way around.
I
Okay,
just
Sorry.
want to thank to all our tellers for this amazing story. And also would like to let you know the next personal story swap will happen in 21st of March. And Niharika will host. She can't be with us today, but yes, she will host the March session. And we don't know the topic yet. She will reveal that to us, hopefully in the coming weeks through WhatsApp group. Yeah, thank you,
So,
everyone. Yes, sir.
Baden, don't book anything in that day, okay?
Baden, please.
Right. So we are having our spring event in Much Wenlock on the 21st. It's the equinox. So we will do something on that day because we've got a whole bunch of storytellers here in the pottery and poets and all sorts of creatives around the place. So I'll get back in touch with you about that.
Okay.
Can I ask what it is? It's Much Wenlock.
Much Wenlock in Shropshire. And
Do-
the
do we-
festival
can
is
you-
dedicated-
Can you spell that for us?
PHAT.
You can write it maybe.
Thank you, Baba.
You're
It's
welcome.
England, so it could be anything.
MUCHWENLOCK in Shropshire in England. Okay, and the festival's got a word in Edgeways, and we're having our spring event.
And somewhere amongst all the madness, I have to tell you what happened to the giant cockroach on the back of my phobic hand. And I'm in front of all these kids, so I can't scream or wet myself. But I am phobic about roaches, and they put this. It's supposed to stay put, but it starts running up my arm. Suspense.
They fly in Hong Kong.
Yeah, well, if that one had flown, I would have fainted.
Yeah, and they're like larger than your thumb.
No,
And I
this
do not
was
like.
huge. This was huge. I mean, it literally took up the back of my hand, and it was, I don't know if it was albino or what, but it was this huge white cockroach on the back of a phobic person's hand. And all the kids are looking at me like, oh, and I can't tell you what I'm thinking inside because I'm trying not to lose it. And it's supposed to stay put, and it starts running up my arm, and I had on a short sleeve shirt.
That's gross.
Suspense.
That's gross. That's just gross.
Yes.
But thank you for sharing that.
I can
Robin,
laugh
I'm
at
going to
it
go to
now.
bed now.
Are there any other announcements of World Storytelling Cafe events or anything exciting to share in your storytelling world? If you have, it is the time now.
I might miss
going
you guys
to-
next
So we do
Friday.
a story.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
I might miss you
Mike?
guys next Friday. I might miss you guys next Friday because I have 2 performances at a high school next Friday, and they're back to back. But if I can, I'll be here for Stories for Children. But I'll be telling stories to children, although high school kids don't consider themselves children.
Good. Good.
every other Sunday, 6 o'clock UK time, and we do a story round with Get a Word in Edgeways and the World Storytelling Cafe, which I host, and it's every other Sunday. So it's not tomorrow, it's a weekend Sunday. You're very welcome to come. Everything's, we don't do traditional stories. Come and tell personal stories. And it's a really good place to practice a new story.
It
Lots
is.
of
It
people
really
do
is.
that. So if anybody wants to come, and I know
And much-
Saneem is very good, and it's very good at doing the workshops beforehand. And the way I deal with it is to say, come along and tell the story for the first time, and we will give you some advice if we think you need it behind the scenes. Okay?
Great.
But you're very welcome. to come
It's a
and
much
go.
friendlier time for someone like Sue as well, who's in Canada. So it's a lot friendlier time, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. UK time. If you want some more information about that, Sue, I can give you the links for those as well.
That's
It's on
1
the 1st
p.m.
of
to
March,
us on the eastern side of these. Of
Yeah, so we get people from Canada and South Africa and all
Yeah.
over different places. Yeah, absolutely.
Sue is currently in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and it's storming right there right now.
I've been on there
Thanks,
a few
Sue.
times on Mike's telling. There's always some great guests on it and some great stories. He's even told one or two that were not too bad.
Oh yes,
Love you, Mike.
absolutely.
Love you.
Don't worry about my ego. You know.
I think it's probably robust enough to manage a little bit of living.
A little
Yes.
bit, yeah.
Oh yeah,
From
actually,
the little I
Mike,
know of you, Mike.
Mike, I've
Mike
had-
is one of the most. Mike is one of the most modest storytellers I know. Now remember, I'm a storyteller.
So, how many storytellers do you know, Baba?
They say I know enough to start telling stories today, and this time tomorrow I'll still be telling stories and never repeat them.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Now shall we stop
we
recording
did that with. Yes.
Okay.
our chat? Okay, I am great. Yeah, thank you everyone again for being here and for
Thank
sharing.
you.
It was lovely to see you. Lovely to hear your story. And
Yes.
Santosh, I loved hearing your story too. Fantastic.
Yes. I mean,
Yes, absolutely, Santosh. It was a lovely story. I have a request, if I can, Celine.
yes, please, Mike.
So, yeah, so with Jim Ball, or Brule, as some people call him, who's an American storyteller in the state of Pennsylvania, is where he's from. A guild over there do a story round in the same way as I do the joint one here, and we're going to get together sometime in the spring, probably for June, and join the two up together and have a joint session one evening here, afternoon they will do. If any of you know any other Zoom storytelling sessions that we could just do it once a year or from time to time and have a joint one, so where people can meet other people and get to know other people from different places.
It might be
and
worth
cultures and all the
talking
other
to
stuff.
Federation of Asian Storytellers about that. And there's some in Canada too that might be interested. Now, Suze has actually replied again and said, no, I got it all wrong. There's a storytelling conference for the Storytellers of Canada as well in early June. I think it's the first weekend of June. So if anybody's interested in going out to Victoria, BC and doing some storytelling out there, taking classes, it's very, it's not quite like Storytellers of Marrakesh, but it's more like Feast, if you've been to those ones, where they have workshops and master classes, and there's some school elements this year as well. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm hoping I can go. But that's where I met Sue last year in Nova Scotia. So, who is a fantastic storyteller as well, even though she can't use her unmute button.
Oh,
Right, so I've got an important engagement now, so I'm going to watch England beat Ireland at rugby football.
oh no.
Okay.
Who are you voting for, Mike? Who are you
Bye-bye,
supporting,
mate.
Mike?
See you all.
No, Mike. Your
Take
chance.
care, Mike.
Bye.
Everybody take care. It's been lovely.
Thanks.
Lovely to see you too. Thanks for all the help, Baba.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Oh, I'm looking at the clock. It's time for me to get up. Because it's morning here. You know that, Rachel. It's morning here.
Yes,
So
everyone.
I'm going to sign off and then wake up and have my morning cup of coffee.
See you later. Again, Santosh and Ashwin, lovely to see you. Wonderful to have you here.
Yes.
Good to see you as well, Lucy and Sue. Wonderful to have you here.
Great to see everybody.
Thank you, Sanam, for being a
Thank you.
fantastic host.
And thank you,
Thank
Rachel,
you.
for being a fantastic teller and also technical backup.
A mediocre technical person.
No way. Fantastic. It was great. It was really great.
Okay. Take care, everybody. I'm
Take
signing
care.
off.
Bye. Bye. Take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody.
If I could remember how to do that.
Leave. Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you, Baba C.
And one day I have to tell you about my earthquake story.
Okay, I am looking forward to that. Bye.
Take care, everybody. All right. I know. C out.